So we've done a super sub this week. We've got rid of Rourke, got rid of Al, brought in Peyton, brought in my man Stergeo.
I'm still here.
Shame.
Al, for everyone who wants to know, Al's in isolation.
On holiday.
Not because he's sick, but because he's having a baby. So, and he's not personally having the baby, but you know what I'm saying. So, how you guys doing?
Good, thanks, and you?
Great. Always
Awesome.
a pleasure to be here.
Nice. A massive upgrade though, huh?
Big upgrade. From 4 Elements. What's this, like your second, third venue?
Yeah. Well, we had Al's upstairs attic, which was cool.
Yes.
And then we had 4 Elements, which was like kind of like a temporary thing.
4 Elements.
And now we're here.
Nice. This beautiful.
Dude, how epic was when we used to put the mats out in 4 Elements? That was cool.
Yes.
That was the first time I met old Stergeo, like properly.
Yeah. You came through with Mandla.
Yeah. It's like, who are these randos here?
Coming with bad news B.
Oh, yeah.
All the scraps.
So what's news, guys? Competition time this weekend.
Yeah, man, getting ready for the comp.
Awesome.
So it's going to be great.
Are you
Very
both
exciting.
organizing or are you competing?
So there's not actually any girls for me to compete against,
Okay.
unfortunately. And I think I've competed against all of them anyway, except Katarina, which I really, that will be cool. Katarina, she just got a brown belt.
Katarina Ruja, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the only girl I haven't competed against yet. So
And she's not
maybe
competing this weekend.
No, she's not, unfortunately.
Hey, Katarina, have you heard
Yeah,
this?
she just got a brown belt.
Just got a brown belt.
In Angola or locally?
She actually, she went to Angola.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
pretty rad.
Yeah.
Is she like what our first? No. There's a few
Jess
brown
is a brown belt.
yeah.
There's that other
PFA has
Scott Carey.
Carey, Matt.
There's a few ladies.
Matson. Who
I know
else?
that there's that black belt lady, Annie or something. So she grades in South Africa or she trains in the UK. I actually don't even know. Carrie them know her better than what I do.
Oh, okay.
But she's got a black belt and
There's obviously always Penny.
Yes.
Of course. The OG.
Yeah, see, I remember every time Penny used to come back to South Africa, like we'd wait for her seminars, and then like, there's photos of Rourke at those seminars as a white belt with like 16 years old with like an afro.
I'm man.
You know when you had those white belts that are too long, they're down by your knees.
Yes,
And you're
those
not even
karate
really know how to
belts.
tie properly yet, but it's down at the
Yeah,
strings
it's
come
just
down to
hanging.
your knee.
Like one loop around the waist. Yeah.
Oh, dude, Penny is
Yeah,
amazing.
jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, man.
She was
There's
the
like
OG.
this really big guy at our gym. His name is Ralph, and he's actually like a financial mathematician. And he was like a Olympic weightlifter type guy. And he's like, I'm coming in to do my weights. And then one day, Penny was teaching, and I don't know what he said. And she's like,
Oh, yeah.
she destroyed
Murdered
him.
him.
She just destroyed him. And he still tells the story. He's like, I remember that day very clear. I was like, shame. Yeah.
Yeah, see. People forget that like Penny beat Gabby like at
Yeah.
ADCC. Like,
I think she won ADCC 4 times.
yeah. Penny was unbelievable. And like when she used to like train with Louisa Montero and that whole like Gracie Humatic
Yes,
team in California,
With
that was
Bia
like,
and them all.
yeah.
But they got a strong team of ladies.
Yes.
Wow.
All those ladies became like goats
Champions,
of
yeah.
jiu-jitsu, right?
100%.
I mean, Bia has to be the #1 lady in the world right now. I mean,
And-
Gabby's #1.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
like,
But she's
Bia
just a
Mosquito's just
yeah.
next level.
I think also Gabby, she's such a beast, man. It's hard for.
Yeah, 100%.
I'd be scared of her. I am scared of her. Not
Dude, you must
check
check out.
in an alley. Be like, take
Shit.
100%. You must check her academy in California. It's massive, dude. It's like 4,000 square feet, I think.
Oh,
like,
shit.
It is ginormous.
Man.
When we were there, the guy that financed that with her is one of Chris Cyborg's like main sponsors, whatever. And we went out with him, and he was just telling us about this like new facility. I was like drooling. It was like the state-of-the-art jiu-jitsu facility. I was like, I just want to go there right now. But yeah, so I mean, she got an epic gym. But yeah, the problem with Gabby is like there's always that asterisk. So like she's just so much bigger than everyone that like there's always that like. You watch, I mean, I remember her versus Mackenzie Dern. Like, you just check, she's trying to like flatten her out, and Mackenzie got the win.
But didn't
I mean,
Mackenzie drop Sianagi her?
Yeah, well, she got the
Oh,
win. She got
man.
the 2 points. She won by 2 points, right? So that was like the epic part. But you watch her fight everyone else, except who was that chick that beat her the other day?
Natalie
Natalie.
Jesus or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
yes. But
Yeah.
she's not a small lady, that
Yeah.
lady, but man.
But Gabby still makes her
dwarfed
look
by
small.
Gabby Gosling.
Yeah.
But even Gordon Ryan, man, when that whole thing with
When
Galval
Gordon
happened,
slapped him.
then you just check Gabby like.
And if
Gordon
anybody,
Ryan's like, what's going on?
Andre, stop. Gordon, stop. They're both
if
like,
anybody's gonna stop it, it would be Gabby. You know, just like.
we'll stop.
and then John's just sitting in the middle like an absolute
No,
serial killer.
but
Got
man,
the New Balances on there, like.
you know, you must know
What's
John
going on?
probably had a knife there somewhere
yeah,
ready. John's
guaranteed.
ready.
Guaranteed. But that I actually loving like the whole new banter with like Gordon Ryan and
Hey, bro.
everyone lately.
So good.
It's flipping brilliant,
Yeah.
right?
And I mean, like nobody can stop him because he's really just that good.
Yeah.
Like, do something about it if
Yeah,
you guys
yeah,
have an
yeah.
issue with it.
People forget like Roberto Jimenez came in and smashed Keenan Cornelius in his debut, right? Black belt debut, beats like one of the most popular black belts in the world. And then Gordon just fucks with him for like the entire round.
Yeah.
Like he was so bad he wanted that shin in armbar from Mount, and then the first one he lets go, and then the second one he like it's like they're on different then.
He was playing like levels within belts, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's just he's so far ahead of everyone at this stage. Wagner, he just absolutely murdered, right? He's fighting Luis Panzer in like a couple of weeks. He's going to destroy that
I can't
oak.
wait to see that. Yeah.
He's going to destroy that oak, though. It's like he's just so far ahead of everyone,
I
dude.
wonder what he's gonna finish it with.
Oh,
He'll probably I wonder
Write
if
it
he'll
down
leave a little
again.
envelope again, yeah.
we should actually take a bet somewhere. I reckon he's going to go with like an arm lock or something. So he hasn't arm locked anyone. I suppose the arm bar. Armbar triangle. He hasn't heel hooked anyone in a while.
Yes, when he fought that dude from 10th Planet, that other big guy.
Oh, Kyle
Bohm or whatever.
Bohm, yeah.
Yeah. That I think that was like when he, like before that match, he was leg locking everyone before, and then he was like, "I'm going to show you guys."
Yeah,
But I have a different, more dynamic game. But apparently, like whenever Kurt goes and trains in New York, he said like the guys were complaining about Gordon's back control all the time. Like even when he was a blue belt, they were like, "This kid is a problem on the back."
Well, whenever he gets
And
on the
he's
oak's
passing.
back, so
Yeah,
like, I
man.
mean, it's just
So
it's over.
easy for him.
And he's like ruthless, right? Like when he starts like putting that arm across, right? And he's like fucking just grinding that oak's face away, and then he like walks it over, and then you just know it's done. It's nothing. You're never getting out of that.
Yeah,
Like
I remember when I saw him on when the one EBR match before he belted up, he fought some Italian kid.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was like a wrestler or something, and he like rear naked choked him, and then like afterwards his like arm was bleeding because he like went across
over his
like, face and
teeth.
Yeah.
and stuff. He just like, man, can you imagine that pressure?
Well, did you hear his interview afterwards? He's like, "Yeah, well, fucking tucking your chin isn't defense. I'll just
yeah.
break your jaw." I was like, "Oh my god!" This like has to move into MMA, like. But how's that?
Well-
He signs for one. Buchecha signs for one. Yes, see. Let's do that
exciting.
fight.
It's gonna be
gonna
good.
exciting.
Oh man.
But even like
Buchecha's
he's
sorry.
so Buchecha is good, but like Buchecha's fight with him in ADCC were like,
Yeah.
man,
even though like I think he beat Buchecha like by like 1 point for an advantage, but he dominated him, right? It was just that he couldn't get to a scoring position.
I think it
right?
was really funny when he went for the heel hook and then Gordon looked at him and he was like, I tried.
That was good, yeah. Like
Yeah.
good gamesmanship between
the whole crowd was laughing. It was great.
Imagine you're so good that like the goat of gi jiu-jitsu. I know everyone's like Hodger Grace is the goat,
Yes.
but I mean like Buchecha statistically is actually the greatest of all time, right? Like he's like, okay, I fucking tried,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah.
you're just that much better than me, right? It's
But at least he's realistic about it. You know,
Yeah.
he went for it. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Next. Yeah.
I wonder who. I mean, if Andre doesn't do the super fight, I wonder who steps in.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. That'll be interesting to see.
Because I think that super fight will be super emotional, right?
Yeah.
That'll turn into a fight.
Yeah, it'll turn
Yeah,
like
it
a
will be
real
a
fight.
real fight.
With the- off the mat also, I reckon the teams are going to get into it like...
Oh yeah. Well, you saw like there was bad blood between Penna and Galvao in that last super fight, right? And it was like you could see it in the fight. Now
like
this Oaks fucking slapped you twice already.
Dude.
He's like made you a bitch in front of everybody, right?
And the whole world saw.
Yeah. I don't understand that, right? Like if someone slaps me, even if I know there's a very good chance you're gonna fucking beat the shit out of me,
I
I'm
must
still
at
gonna
least
suck
get
it.
one.
Already been
Yeah.
slapped. Go,
Dude,
go out
I'm not
for the
gonna-
shield. you
yeah.
know?
Yeah. Die on your shield. That's it. I must at least get one back.
Yeah.
I don't
And
care.
he's an ex-MMA fighter, dude. Like, take comfort in knowing that, bro, you fought in the cage. This guy hasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, and go for it.
Well, I think Andre wasn't expecting Gordon to be like, "Fuck you, dude. I'm
But
from
after the
Jersey. I'll
second
fucking
one,
kill
bro,
you." Yeah.
you know, and then he still came back. Like, just stay behind the curtains, hype yourself up, and then come out. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly,
That's
dude.
just,
Yeah, that was bad for Andre. And then Andre did that whole apology video and then tried to
Yes.
sell DVDs at the end of
Yes.
it. I was like, it's a bit tacky.
Man, and because like Galval's has always been the bully, because you know, like when you said when he fought Penna, like he was just like slapping him all the time on the back of the head.
And then he blast doubled him into the table, dude, and then
Yes.
just left him there. It was like,
Yes.
and Penna's like complaining and
About
crying
his
about it, and it was like, fuck, this guy just ragdolled you, dude. Like, I mean, but he is on like every single steroid ever known to man. I mean, he's
It's the acai, guys. Come
That's
on.
the
You should
acai,
know. Thank God.
his traps were like over here, like there was no connection. It just went,
Yeah.
it went like deltoid neck, like just like connected. I was like, fuck.
From the lobe to the shoulder. Yeah.
Oh man.
Did you watch that? Who's number one? That Andrew Waltz and
Gomo.
yes,
Yeah.
it was
I
pretty
mean,
good.
Andrew Waltzy's
Waltzy, yes,
guard
that's
passing is mental, right?
And he's wrestling from the butt.
Yeah.
Dude.
It's crazy. You know, he does that like relentless. He tries to like knee slice you the entire time, but like he's relentless with it, and he's like going left, right, and then he just like basically just chops you down, like goes straight through your guard.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not fit and you fight one of those Daisy
Fresh,
Fresh guys, you're fucked. You're done.
Dude, yeah, the pace that they keep all of them.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's madness.
Unbelievable.
But it's so crazy that this little town in the middle of fucking nowhere
Exactly.
has bred this strong jiu-jitsu team, dude.
Yeah.
Like if they can build a strong jiu-jitsu team with like one guy with a bit of knowledge, right? Then surely Africa could like build massive teams,
Yeah,
right?
but dude, let's be honest. Like South Africa is coming. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
definitely,
We
dude.
up and coming. Also, people are starting to talk about South African martial arts in general.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, even the boxing. We got DJ Creel.
Yeah.
Man.
I was so bleak he lost that title fight.
Yeah, I
I
know,
think it was
but-
like 16 months ago or
Yeah.
whatever, 12 months ago.
But the thing is, man, DJ, I got nothing but respect for that kid, because I think he's like first 2 or 3 pro fights. He
Yeah,
lost.
got dulled, dude.
You know?
Yeah.
And I remember when he was training in Boxburg there at that I forgot the name of the gym, but it was the boxing gym there behind Sutra. Remember?
Yeah.
We used to have we had our academy opposite it. Crazy man. Anyway, glad that's over. But yeah, everyone was like, even some people they were like, yeah, you know, DJ's good, but he. You know, and look at him. Look at him now. He's in Vegas.
But he got like a chip on his shoulder. He was like,
Bro.
these oaks don't believe in me.
Man, and he
and I'm going
showed
to prove
them.
them wrong, right?
And dude, since like DJ was like 13, and he took me on pads for like my first MMA match, like from a kid.
Yeah.
From a kid, that guy's man, and he always said he's gonna be a pro boxer. You know, and everyone's okay, cool. Look at him now.
Yeah.
You know,
Living in
Look at him
America,
now,
doing
bro.
his thing, dude.
Yeah, putting South Africa on the map.
Yeah, 100%. Angola's obviously been a bit ahead of us, right? And
With
that's
the
like,
gi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because of their judo, man, the
Yeah.
judo
Yeah.
and
And also they're so close to the, to the UK, to Europe and so forth. So they
Yeah.
can travel all the time. Unfortunately, we have to go so far.
Yeah, well, we're so geographically like cut off from the rest of the world that
Yeah.
like the closest international match is like 10 hours away for us
Literally.
by flight. Like, you know, so
So
it's like
frustrating.
super difficult. Plus with the Angolans, I think with their relation, like their Portuguese heritage, it's easy to get Brazilians to come to Angola
Absolutely.
and have them. I know there's a Brazilian black belt there now that they want to get into the EFC, right? It's like, it's so easy for them.
Yes.
It's, they're always having like, I remember when they started bringing Hodger Gracie out to Angola, and then they built all these teams, Marcelo Montero team, Gracie by Angola.
They got a big Marcelo Montero team that side. Eh?
So I mean, I remember like they've got a big scene. I think like for South Africans, we need to first eclipse them and then move on from there. You know. So I think like that's always a big. I saw Walter came second at AJP the other day,
Was
right?
it second or third?
Might have been third.
I think he came third.
Yeah. I mean that's epic.
Man.
At AJP.
And dude, he
Walter's
the
such a
one
good
solo-
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But those Angolans, like when I've grappled a couple of Angolans, right? When they grip you, like you know you've been gripped, right? Especially in the gi. Like if they can get like 2 grips on you, that's it. Like,
That's it.
It's pretty much done.
And then they always come with that fire, and like the
Yeah.
crowd, they like sing and chant like you
Yeah.
feel like you're in Brazil or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Do you remember when Big Walter fought Johan Oosthuizen and then he just gripped like, doop, that was the end of the fight. Like he just held him there. Like Johan's like, and Johan's like a savage,
Johan's
right?
a savage, yeah. even
Man.
the AJP that we did, when was it, in 2018? When he
When
fought,
he fought Zaki.
and the other dude from Brazil.
Who did he fight from Brazil?
Was that the one at Henzo Gracie?
No, the one from
The one in the shed.
No, the one we did in Benoni.
Benoni.
At the Benoni Northerns.
Oh yeah, in Johannesburg.
Yes, remember it was that time when Ching went against Yaron.
Oh, and then okay.
Walter, there was another big black belt from Brazil, and yes, dude, Walter, he finished it with a toe hold again. Yeah,
those Angolans,
man.
Man, but I think he fought someone, was it that competition? And then somebody like hurt his nose a little bit. And he comes to me afterwards and he's like, Peyton. And I'm like, Walter, you fine, man. And he's like, no, come. And I'm just like, Walter, man, stop it.
Yeah, I remember all those like Walter and all of them, like 2009 Abu Dhabi World Pro qualifiers. Like they were all like blue belts and white belts and whatever. Now these are wrecking guys at black belt level and you're like, shit. Like 10, 11 years, and like they become like a competitive nation in jiu-jitsu, you know.
But you know what it is? I think it's also their infrastructure. You know, you look at it like, I mean, you check out their Instagram, man, they have sponsors for days.
Yeah.
They're always running. They're always in Brazil. Like I met all of those oaks when we were at Gracie Tijuca in Brazil.
Yeah.
That Renato was there. They were all there, you know, and like they know the oaks. It's not like the first time they go there. So they. You know,
they've had investment into their future. Like people don't realize like how like traveling overseas and competing overseas and training at overseas, it does so much for your jiu-jitsu.
100%.
Like either you go over there and you get manhandled and you realize, okay, I'm doing something horrifically wrong back home, or you go over there and you do well and you realize what you are doing right, and then you get their assistance to like try and that's always what we've always tried to get is like these guys to help us build jiu-jitsu. But like historically, Brazilians have been horrific at helping us, right?
Sure, fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, they like to hold on to what's theirs.
Yeah. But I mean, like, that's like completely against what they were trying to do from the beginning, right? They were trying to go out to the world and like spread jiu-jitsu. Then you get like this next generation of Brazilians that come in and they create all these affiliations and they get you in on these affiliations and then you pay all this money and then for like zero help, right? I don't need your brand.
Yes.
Like no one knows who you are in South Africa. I need you to help me like build this jiu-jitsu community.
People to know you first.
Yeah.
Then we can talk about money and everything else.
Yeah. And also like just help me. Yeah. Like how do you run a good school? Like what systems do you put in place? Like these guys are just like, just pay the money.
And then use my name.
Yeah, and use my name.
Like that's going to help.
That doesn't help me one bit, right?
Yeah, it doesn't. But I think, you know what, we're fortunate in that, you know, a while back, like when I was a kid, like karate and kickboxing was huge.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, like karate schools, they used to make cash. And there's still a lot of karate schools that make cash. So I feel if the jiu-jitsu guys, you know, we always like to diss karate and traditional martial arts and stuff. But, you know, if we just actually look at...
I think jiu-jitsu guys are the worst.
Yeah,
We're the most judgmental people.
We're so humble, guys.
Like we watch an MMA fight and we're like, but he could have.
I'd kill you, bro, if you didn't tap. Like,
honestly.
But like the way, like their business model, the way they run, you know, we should look at that, you know, and run our BJJ academies and the same way they run karate schools, because there's still karate schools thriving.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. I think, like, I'm not a fan of like the Gracie Barra system in general, but what they did do well is that they taught people how to make money out of jiu-jitsu, right? Yeah. Which made it sustainable for people. Like,
that's it.
Like 10 years ago, like all the jiu-jitsu gyms were pretty shit, right?
Yeah,
like it was like
a part-time thing.
Yeah, and
I
like
was working as a rep and then coming and teaching jiu-jitsu or whatever the story is.
Exactly, right? The facilities were cuck. The like everything just was like really like you had to love jiu-jitsu to do jiu-jitsu, right? Yeah, exactly. Know, like, there was no change rooms, no bathrooms. Genuinely have to go like walk into a shopping center in the middle of shopping to go change, like right? But now like at least we've got a whole bunch of schools in different locations that have known how to make this sustainable and made proper businesses out of this. And now we've got full-time coaches like just coaching jiu-jitsu.
100%.
So like that's what's helped grow, and like I think we'll just keep growing exponentially like that. But it also took a little bit of like investment from external parties coming to South Africa. Like Marcelo made an effort to come to South Africa how many times before like Ching had his system going, right? And then you had like the Gracie Barra guys that were with Rich and Norman then that came out like continuously, like Saldana and that other dude.
Saldana's nice.
The big guy with the beard.
Penna also came out here.
Machine, yes, Penna.
Yeah, Penna.
Did that cool. He did the Penna Choke seminar at FFM.
Yeah.
He was also in Cape Town.
Yes.
And then Rodrigo Fajado invested by sending Dave over, and then he came over. Then they sent Euron over. So then now you've got that school that's been developed. Like, but it took like investment from a couple of Brazilians of time and money. Like the best experience I ever had was Abmar. Like Abmar, Robert Drysdale said to Abmar, there's a school in South Africa, like they want people to come out. Will you go? He said, yeah. So then we got no money to bring you out. He's like, cool, I'll pay for myself.
What?
I'll pitch up. Just give me
That's
somewhere to
unheard of,
stay.
dude.
I mean, he was coming directly off beating Kron Gracie at Pan Jiu-Jitsu championships, right? He had just lost to Lucas Letcher in the finals. So he was the silver medalist. He's like, I'll pay for myself, set up seminars, just give me a place to stay. When we went to the airport to pick him up, he's like, oh, I brought my other black belt from Sao Paulo with me. So he brought Zhao with him. And like, that actually gave us so much momentum because we pumped up from that 3 weeks that we got to spend with him because we lived with him, we trained with him every day. It was like an awesome
experience.
So he invested in South African Jiu-Jitsu, and even though he didn't continue investing, it helped us move along.
That initial investment gave you guys what you needed to take the next step.
Yeah, 100%. So I mean, that was our problem in the beginning. No one was helping us. They didn't see the value in helping African. I think guys doing well in UFC now, everyone's like, hey, Africa's the hotspot. Always want to put a PI in there for the UFC. It's okay. But these have always been, yeah. We've always known that genetically superior individuals come from Africa.
Let's be honest, yeah.
Let's be honest. Let's just be honest.
Man. So this weekend, what's happening?
Exciting stuff. So this is the first comp that we're going to be running through the federation, the JJGASA, Jiu-Jitsu and Grappling Association of South Africa. It's going to be good. So excited about this because finally, with the federation, there's somewhere to go. You know what I'm saying? You enter the comp, you get points, you get a ranking. Eventually, we want to have a Gauteng no-gi team or a Gauteng gi team. People. So this is what the federation is going to give to people that join it and to the jiu-jitsu community. It's giving it somewhere to go, because you have wrestling and you wrestle for a while, you can go to the Olympics. Okay, boxing not so much anymore. We've been kicked out of the AIBA World Games. So that's
you can still go to World Games. I mean, that's the thing you can go do.
Yeah, but now there's eventually somewhere to go. With jiu-jitsu.
So you always hear people say why do we get organized? Why do we have federations and committees and whatever? And then people but what people need to realize that in the absence of having an official federation, right, it's difficult to get funding for anything that you want to do, especially if you want to apply for development funding for the underprivileged to get martial arts training, or you're trying to get funding for guys to go overseas, right? You need some sort of federation that's associated with SASCOC in some way, so that you can get funding either from the lottery board or from government or whatever. It legitimizes everything that you do, right?
So also protects the athletes as well.
So historically, we've got a lot of flack because they think that the MMA Republic is anti-organization, right? But that's actually not what we're about here. We're about people wanting to grow the sport in a positive manner.
Grow their sport, not grow bank accounts.
100%, right? So I think it's great, and but it's only great when the right people are doing it, right?
100%.
So who's involved in the actual federation itself?
Okay, so look, Peyton also could probably tell you more, but from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that the federation is made up of a lot of different people from all over South Africa. So jiu-jitsu guys in Durban, Cape Town, Johannesburg, various people have been put on so that it's not unfair, towards any, it's not only Joburg guys or only Cape Town oaks or only Durban oaks.
Awesome.
So
we try to set up some a person in charge in every province so that they could liaise and keep everything in order, and then also again just to keep everything fair for everybody else. Kurt George, obviously he's behind pushing people to try and build the sport, and he's actually done so much, and he's just
Kurt was investing in it
way back.
The unanimous, he must have lost tons of money on those unanimous events, and not tens of thousands, probably hundreds of thousands that he probably burnt trying to build a community, right?
And then also traveling back and forth to New York all the time to make his academy better, that's also a lot of money, and it wasn't nobody sponsored him.
I've done that twice
and
now.
It's expensive, man.
Expensive.
And I can just talk from personal experience with with Kurt. Dude, the guy just wants people to do jiu-jitsu. And last year I stayed with Kurt and Peyton for 2 months, bro. He's just
he's
I was
just
coming
come
back from injury.
Yeah.
I wasn't rolling. He's like, dude, why aren't you rolling? Come to Cape Town. You know? I'm like, dude, I don't have any cash. Bro, stay at my house, bro. What's wrong? You can eat here, you can sleep here, you can train at the gym. What do you need money for?
Yeah, 100%.
You know, and always, you know, that's Kurt's vibe. I remember back also the one AJP that was in Cape Town, the trials. Says, hey guys, you don't have a place to stay in the gym.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
he's
He's even going as far.
it's for the love of the sport,
For
right?
the love of the sport, he's going as like right now for the federation. He's creating a syllabus. So not like he's like, but he's creating a syllabus. For example, like I'm a purple belt. I live in Geluksdal, wherever that is. You know what I'm saying? And I've been training in my garage with like 5 guys for like 3 years, and I've got, you know, maybe a blue belt that needs a purple belt. I can contact the federation, the closest in my area, and say, hey guys, this is who I am. I live here. We've been rolling so long. You know, we need to grade. Can we have some assistance? Or do you have a syllabus for us? Absolutely, my friend. Join the federation. Boom. Here's a syllabus. We'll come assess you in 2-3 months. Give you your belt. I mean, bro, what a pleasure. And you know,
I mean, it's great from like cultivating the community, right? So like people that weren't in jiu-jitsu like 10 years ago, they don't realize that there was nothing, right? There was no BJJ fanatics to help you. There was no like people here that had experience. Like everyone was like guessing, trying to like do the best you could, right? I remember like when Penny and them started, they were watching like those old Gracie videos on VHS tapes, right?
And Kurt actually has still some of those, and then he's like, Peyton, this was it, and I'm like, oh,
well, that was it. I remember like trying to find like this random ass torrent and like getting the thing that, and then I used to like invite my mates over to my house, and we used to put a mattress down on the floor, and we used to like beat the fuck out of each other, right?
I had jiu-jitsu encyclopedias, bro. 3 of them, bro. The Machado ones. So you sit there and then it's like,
I remember those ones, dude.
And it leaves out gaps. You know, so it's like 10 pictures, bro. They're like armbar, and then you're like, and then there's like these gaps in between. You're like, what am I doing?
I remember walking into exclusive books, and they had like the Salo Ribero's Jiu-Jitsu University book there. And I bought that, and I was like, it's like page.
It's gonna change my life.
And then like, you look back at it now, and you're like, that thing was nowhere near a complete sort of like structured approach to jiu-jitsu. It was like, it started with back escapes, and then it like moved into like random ass arm bars. And I was like, but it helped a little bit, right?
Get to the middle, bro. The real stuff. Like, this is what I need to be learning, bro.
the real stuff.
Yeah, dude. Like, but so it's nice that like if you can't afford to affiliate to like a Gracie Bar or something,
exactly,
that you can still get some assistance from the federation.
And so from what I understand, like this is Kurt's whole thing. You know, he's like, not everyone has cash, and it's about development, right?
Yeah.
Because people with bucks, people with money can do whatever they want. So obviously, you know, like money, you can do anything. But what about the talent out there that doesn't have funds, that has talent and has the want to do this?
Like if I didn't, if I didn't work for the academy, I would never be doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
Peyton's
it's ridiculously expensive.
This is
and
like
like
a Kurt product right here.
100%.
80cc world what?
Oh man, trial silver.
I watched that live.
Man.
And I still remember watching. I remember watching like you like latched onto Olivia's ankle, and I was like, I think she's baiting her because like, you know, she put her leg like into it, right? And then she baited you, and then like as she defended, then she latched onto your leg. I was like,
and she was strong, hey? So she actually bulked up for that competition. So the thing is, Richard actually knew who Livia was. And he didn't tell Kurt. And Kurt's like, God damn it, Richie, you should have told us beforehand, because then I could have told.
One of the greatest ever.
Dude. And then Kurt was like, I could have told you to like, because she sat to guard, so it was a negative point. So I could have just disengaged and then passed at the end. But no, not Richard. Didn't tell us. Fucking got heel hooked. Went for dinner, you know, afterwards, and I was like, oh, shot Livia. I appreciate it.
Yeah, she's a savage though.
Man. And she's actually having a baby now soon as well.
Yeah, I saw that, Josh. She's very close to having another Giles in the world.
Hey, bro.
God damn it.
Another killer.
Man, but how is Giles at the Worlds every time he walks around, and I'm just like, oh man.
But people keep saying like, oh, but how did he like not get past the first round of his division? I was like, you got Lucas Lepre, like the greatest guard passer in jiu-jitsu, right? Like if that don't get into position, you fucked, right? No one's winning that match, right? And that's all he did. He knew that he couldn't like play a leg game with her, and he got into like that knee slice type of position, and he just stuck there, right? It's like levels. Like it doesn't mean just because Lachlan like ran the fucking table at the absolutes that aren't oaks in the normal weight categories that could still
But
smash.
even so, if you watch the fight with Gordon, like Gordon got a bit nervous on the legs as well,
yeah,
and then that's why he just took his back,
They had
and
a good
like you
match.
could
That was a
see
good
it was a
match.
good match.
Yeah.
But then so Charles always talks about how you should attack the heel first and then get position afterwards. When we
100%.
went back to training, John was like, "Okay, we're gonna attack the heel first and get position afterwards. Let's see how this goes." And then he started developing from there.
Yeah.
Just because he was watching the competition, and then it was so.
Because
sick.
Lachlan's all about getting the grip on the heel, right? And then you can
And then rolling
reconnect with your
into-
legs afterwards, right? And when we saw that, we were like in lockdown, and we got like Lachlan's video, that leg lock anthology, and we like started going, and we're like, we love leg locks, right?
Yeah.
And then when we like started like practicing like to get onto the heel first, yes, my leg locks just like exponentially like improved
Shot
because
up.
like often you're trying so hard to get the connection to the hip, right, with your legs that like you lose the ability to catch the heel. But now with his system of like latching onto the heel and then connecting afterwards, like the heel's always there. Like
That's it.
And once your legs connect, you're only like a split second away from finishing the submission, right?
Yeah.
So you like kind of go to the air, like it's like a half finish.
Yeah.
And then you just yeah.
Because John's original system was to like
Position before submission.
Yeah, and so get the inside position, then you get the hip clamp, then you work down to the heel, and then you braking
Finish from
mechanisms,
there.
right?
Yes.
Now Lachlan was like, "Nice story." We're going to the
Literally.
other side, yeah.
Oh man.
Hey, and it works.
Yeah,
Well,
dude.
this is the beautiful thing now about modern jiu-jitsu, right? Is because when we learned all these things, when we started like pets, position, escape, transition, whatever, like, then pets, like when you got better, then submit, and it's like, but now, the sport's evolving so quickly, and we're able to see so much more jiu-jitsu that it's just
Dude,
it's
you can watch
evolving like
jiu-jitsu
crazy.
every weekend now. There's pro jiu-jitsu
It's
all the
so
time, right?
great.
And these oaks are like forced to like keep improving their game all the time. So every time you watch, someone's doing something new that they. Have you seen that? I think her name's Brim Robertson. She's like the 16-year-old chick that's leg locking like everyone
Where's
at
she
Fatuan. She's from California. She's a 10th Planet chick.
10th Planet, okay, yeah.
But she's like just murdering chicks, and like she's basically just got like black belt level leg locks, and she's fighting all the blue belt chicks and like just wrecking them at fight to win.
Yeah.
But I mean, you like look at that, like that chick would dominate at a black belt level like 5 years ago, right?
Sure.
But she's only a blue belt
Blue
at
belt
this
now.
Yeah.
So it just shows you the
Yeah.
progression, right?
Exactly. I always think like the Hoist Gracie that pitched up at like UFC 1, 2, and 3 would get murdered by most blue belts now. He wouldn't even stand a chance against most of them now, dude. But obviously, like that's all there was back then, you know.
Yes,
It was just a couple people like developing this martial art.
And also with like all these instructionals and stuff now, like you have guys that are posting their A game. Okay, maybe they're leaving out like one or two small refinements, but
Yeah.
they're like they're like selling their A game to the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so they have to evolve. So that's forcing them to evolve. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And like now people like us are able to play a game that this guy's been working on for the past 5-6 years. We can learn it in, obviously we won't be able to execute as well as they
Yeah.
do it so quickly, but we have access to that.
No, 100%.
You know?
It's jiu-jitsu is it's like the golden era of jiu-jitsu right now, right?
100%.
Yeah.
I think for grappling's exploding.
Yeah.
But
Man, but,
jiu-jitsu especially,
you know-
it's like the new karate.
I think like
Literally.
Nogi's almost eclipsing gi
Oh,
at the
but
moment, right?
everybody's like 80cc is like sexy now,
Yeah.
like before nobody knew about 80cc, and
The
now it's like
Olympics of grappling.
literally.
Yeah.
But
The
man, I
Olympics
wish
of
like the wrestling would also develop as much as what jiu-jitsu is developing now.
Yeah, it's tough, right? It's tough because, like at least with like jiu-jitsu, like there's all these situations where like someone's limb could be broken or they could be choked out. Whereas wrestling is like a little bit too static. So like I love like watching, like we watched the Olympic trials the other day when Carl Dake beat Jordan Burroughs, and it's like that was epic to watch, right? It was such a big moment for like martial arts that
Yes.
Jordan Burroughs isn't going to the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
But then like you can understand why it's difficult to watch. It's why like Nogi's more appealing than
Yeah.
gi,
Gi, yes.
right? It's like even as like someone that does 90% of his jiu-jitsu in a gi, right? I still struggle to watch the world championships sometimes. Like
In the gi,
the building up matches,
It's
right?
like 10 minutes and the guys...
10
And the
minutes of
guys are just
nothing.
holding onto
10
each
minutes
other.
of just like static
Yes.
holding, right? It's so difficult. It's
difficult
difficult
to
to watch. Whereas at least like, because like with a gi, like once you get a good grip, like it can really like stop the entire match. And that's why
100%.
Gordon's even said he hates the gi because like one grip stops his progression,
Can
right?
like anti-jiu-jitsu in the match.
Yeah.
You know?
Whereas these no gi, like it's very difficult to get that type of grip
Yeah.
in place, right?
Especially you start sweating, like maybe the first minute. You know? But then after you start getting sweaty,
So I mean, I think that's the problem for like wrestling is that it's like it's very difficult to watch if you're not like
If you don't know
if you don't
the
understand
sport.
it. Yeah, if you don't understand it. It's a sport watched by
Wrestlers.
participants. Yeah.
100%.
Whereas like at least no-gi jiu-jitsu, it's a sport that can
Yeah,
be watched
man.
by like people that are into MMA.
Like, for example, the weekend, like Sindile did that takedown in the first round, and I was like, oh shit, because they were like, don't scream, and I was like, and everybody just looked at me and they're like, what are you?
Yeah, the whole of fucking the Democratic Republic of Congo, like fucking just banging and going
All
crazy.
time,
And
man.
I was like, this sounds like a full crowd. Like,
Yeah, man. Yeah, so like when he did the double leg, I don't think anybody else like realized, and I was like, oh shit, and then I was like, my bad, and then everybody's like, oh, it's fun, but like, what were you screaming for? I'm like, dude, that double leg, like,
well,
holy
that's the
shit.
thing. But as a martial artist, you can appreciate the
Yeah.
finer details of what happened there, right?
And he was also his foot, like Sindile's judo is really good.
Yeah.
So like that, they said that guy's hips were heavy, man, so they couldn't move him.
Yeah.
But Sindile was off balancing him the whole time using his judo. It was really nice to watch, man.
Man, and his first takedown, because I watched the first round on
The TV.
Yeah, on the TV. Man, he's like, he was so aware.
Yeah.
He got like a double unders on the guy, and he went to like suplex him, and his opponent put his hand like, you know, by the cage. And he looked, you know, to see if he had fingers
Holding
in the
it.
cage, so he didn't, you know, waste his. And he
His
like
energy.
watched, and as the hand came down, he just threw it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like some cage savvy there.
Chris's guys are really good at
Oh,
strategizing
man.
against their
But Chris
opponents,
is
right?
really good at strategizing as well, like, and he
I mean, he's
pushes
got, like
them.
a wealth of experience.
And
You
he's
know,
like
he's
the
fought
OG.
all over.
And he's
Also,
the
bro.
nicest person ever.
But that whole team, it's him
And Reese and Cedric, them all.
and the other coach that
Barry?
Barry, yeah.
Barry Duncan. Yes,
Yes.
Barry was an OG of MMA.
Dude, I remember his fight with Chabub, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a sick one also, yeah.
Yes, Gary was like bodied up at that stage, right?
Yeah.
But like, that's the thing is you can appreciate these small moments in the fights. Like, but at the same time, then you also like can get really frustrated by the small moments in the fights, right?
Absolutely.
Like there was some horrific wrestling this weekend, like from
Yeah,
some camps,
yeah.
right? Like some
Ay.
terrible wrestling. You're like, okay, there's this. It's not a secret that wrestling is like the
You need
gel
it.
that like
You
puts
100%
all your
need it.
martial arts
Everything
together
together.
for MMA, right? But like some guys are coming in like full on strikers. They got a striking game and a little bit of a jiu-jitsu game, but they can't like connect the two because they can't wrestle, right?
There's no in between, right? Yeah.
The cage wrestling this weekend was horrific, right?
The
Like,
only two that you saw like some good technical cage wrestling was, well, Marty got that quick, that like
Yeah.
double unders into that double
oh,
leg
there,
takedown.
there-
onto the
there wasn't even
cage.
much of a fight to watch there.
Yeah,
Like,
and then boy didn't get to see it much because he kept reversing. Brilliant.
Yeah.
But then like the cage wrestling was fairly shocking from
at,
a lot of
in
that.
general, the cage wrestling wasn't great, right? Besides, I mean, like the main event, obviously, from Sylvester's side, his cage wrestling was pretty decent.
Man.
Yes, yeah.
He had some good
The way he
wrestling,
just
eh?
picked him
Yeah.
up and dumped him.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That
man.
fight,
That was
that fight also, okay, there were like a lot of good fights, but that fight, man, they were, like especially for a martial arts fan,
Yeah,
there
yeah.
were moments in that fight.
Yeah.
No, it was
just
intense,
like-
dude.
Well-
The tension in the arena was like
man, I was
tangible,
sitting
like,
pushing
yeah.
hostage. I was almost like peeling my face off, and he's like, Peyton, and I'm like, oh.
Well, because at that first round, I mean, Faiz
They both
got,
knocked each other out. Like, knocked each other down.
Faiz
Yeah.
knocked Sylvester. Sylvester knocked Faiz down,
Yes.
but he didn't like fall down. Then he got back up and knocked him down again,
I
and then
was
he like
sweating,
threw him,
dude,
right?
yeah.
I was like, fuck, that's the end of the fight.
Oh,
This is the
man,
end of the fight.
literally.
Then like, you're not even like a minute removed from that, and he gets dropped with an elbow. Sylvester gets dropped. I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, here
Man,
we go.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
so-
we didn't expect it to go 5 rounds. And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, man. I was like, Sturge,
We're
what if
saying
this
this
goes
is
5?
never
He's like,
gonna
nah,
go.
it's not going to
Never.
go 5. And then it did. And I
Yeah.
was like, shit.
But you knew that Sylvester's
was- yeah.
key was to like out grapple him, right? That's how Sylvester beat Chitamba, right?
Yeah.
And that's like because Sylvester's a really good striker,
Yeah.
but his wrestling has developed to a point that it's as good as his striking.
But you called it, bro. You called it.
Yeah,
You,
dude,
you,
it-
you said, you know, that his wrestling for MMA is
yeah, and
on
and
another
you-
level, yeah.
And with no disrespect to Faiz, he doesn't have a camp that can prepare him for that, right?
So Faiz is actually training with my wrestling coach, the one that
Okay.
I grew up. So Hayden Abrams and then his brother Ryan Abrams. They're amazing wrestlers, firstly, and so he was actually training in his camp. But like I've told Faiz, oh man, I hope he doesn't see this. But I've told him a few times to come and train in our gym, you know, to get some proper ground game.
Come now, right?
And then he's like, but Peyton. And I'm like, but Faiz, come on. You know, like, Hinzo Gracie is right here and you're going to Gracie Baha. Like, no disrespect, but like, dude, seriously.
Yeah.
And you know, like, my wrestling coach teaches also at our academy every now and then. So like, and we have the wall mats and everything. So why wouldn't you come and do a proper camp?
Yeah. 100%.
And you know, like, no disrespect. I know he comes out of, I think, Fighters Inc., right? So they're more stand up. But dude, 100% your fight will end up.
Now to go to Top Gym, right?
Oh,
Eddie
okay.
Lallo's gym, right?
His Top Gyms, that's what GF team.
Yeah, GF team. Yeah. It is GF team. I think Eddie is a black belt under Jadison, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
Yeah. But like, and once again, no disrespect. I just don't think that corner was prepared for a championship match, right? Like, if you listen to like the intelligent corner, like I know Temba and DeMart were loud in the corner, but like they were giving constructive advice to their fighter that needed advice in the situation. You watch Boyd and Martin, like Rich and Chad were giving constructive advice. It's not a cheer squad, right?
You're not saying get up, escape.
Or like
Just do it.
Good takedown. Good combo. Good like they don't need to hear that. There's a crowd that can tell you like you're doing well, right? Yeah. But you need a corner that's going to give constructive advice all the time through the thing.
Cornering is an art on its own.
It is.
Well,
If you have a good corner, it's like literally fighting 100%. Like the guy that's fighting against you is fighting three people.
It's like having
Yes.
a cheat
Right?
code, bro. It's
Yeah.
like having a cheat code.
Well, I think Boyd's fight, because it went 3 rounds, was a good one to watch for cornering advice. You could hear them making adjustments to the fight and the way Bruno was reacting to what Boyd was doing. You could hear them commenting that Boyd was because he was staying out of that wrestling distance, Bruno could never close that gap and get hold of Boyd.
And Bruno's big and strong, hey?
Yeah,
So
he's very
like,
big.
shit.
How's that lower
Took all
body?
those kicks,
How's it
bro.
lower
Man,
body?
I was sitting there and he was kicking his leg and I'm like,
But those legs were like
cringing.
tree stumps.
Yeah.
to be
Dude,
honest.
cringing.
Those kicks were just echoing, man.
No,
Yeah.
100%,
Arena,
dude.
yeah.
But like it just shows you like you need to put together a strong camp and put together a strong corner. Like, you know, some of the advice you hear is like, just get up, get your
I hate when
walk up the
people say
cage,
that.
like just hit him, like, and you're like,
dude, like
dude,
seriously.
you don't need to say anything. Like, rather just keep quiet. Like, don't say anything. He doesn't need to hear that type of stuff. There was a fighter that came to me when I was still the head coach of World of Warriors, and he lost the fight because he said that his corner kept telling him to just hit him, and it was agitating him so much that it forced him to like enter into a situation that he didn't want to enter, and he got clipped, right? And it's like that's a clear example of why like a bad corner can actually lose your fight, right?
Dude, that's how I lost.
I was
my
just
first-
gonna say your fight.
Yeah, my first MMA match, dude. I was because I came from traditional jiu-jitsu and boxing.
Yeah.
You know, so my stand-up was okay. My grappling's average because traditional jiu-jitsu, we do grappling, but it's like very primitive grappling.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Very primitive groundwork. Not to say like against someone who doesn't know groundwork, you'll smash them.
Yeah.
But so, and I was eating this guy on the feet, had him against the cage. Boom, then my corner's like, take him down, because take him down. And my takedowns are still pretty average, like, I'll be honest. Borderline. You know? But, and I shot in for a takedown, bro, and
Yeah, guillotine, done.
bye-bye.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was like two...
But also, like, you're controlling a fight in the stand-up and your corner's telling you to take someone down.
Exactly.
It's like...
And I just... And man, because it was like, I'll never forget, I hit him, tipped him in the chest, and like, big straight right.
Yeah.
I went against the cage, and I was like, yes, I'm going to go finish him with like knees or something, clinch and knees.
Yeah.
And literally, it was right against my corner, and I could just see my coach and my corner was like, take him down. And I just go...
Yeah, dude.
Like a head on, you know what you're talking, those takedowns you're talking about this weekend.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's the thing. Like if you hear a good corner call a takedown, it's generally like 1-2 switch into the single. Like it's a direct instruction.
drilled.
Yeah, it's a direct instruction of how to enter the takedown and then what type of takedown you need to use to execute to get him to the mat. Right? Where you hear these guys going, "Fucking take him down, fucking hit him." Like
Just do it, but
just do it.
like
This is-
okay.
The worst is cheerleaders. This is your time. He's not as fit as you.
When
And
they,
you're like,
the
and
fitness one's
especially,
my fitter than him, champ. Okay, well that.
don't
doesn't
worry,
help.
you're outworking him,
yeah, it's like what?
but you're getting fucked up.
Are you getting fucking panelled?
Well,
Right? A good corner would be like, you're losing this fight.
Yes.
Right?
Wake
You,
up.
you
Yes,
have to.
yes.
you have to do X, Y, and Z to get this,
100%.
right? And like the problem is the guys love to put people in their corner that are like just like yes men cheerleaders, right? Just you're the
Doesn't
greatest,
work.
you're whatever.
Men, yeah.
But then you get fucking panelled, right?
Yeah.
I'd rather have one oak with a bit of knowledge than having 3 oaks that are just going to cheer for me the entire
Yeah,
time.
man.
Well, man, that's I think, you know, what makes a difference. Everyone, you know, people like to think of martial arts and fighting as not a team sport.
Yeah.
Bro,
No, it is.
such a team
Massive.
sport. It's like, you know, I like to think about it like, you know, a TV game. Like your coach has the control. You know, he's given you the moves. You have these certain moves. He can see things we can't see.
100%,
when
dude.
you know, when you're doing that, you know. So a good corner makes all the difference.
No,
all the
definitely,
difference.
dude.
Even with jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You know, like you're stuck in side control and they're saying, stand
Just
up. or
just
get up,
shrimp.
escape.
Just do it.
I want to escape. I don't know how, bro. What can you see that I can do? Like to make
Exactly.
me escape.
Well, that's the thing is that
Yeah.
don't just say escape. Like, tell me what I'm meant to be doing to
like
escape.
frame on the hip, whatever. You know,
Yeah,
give me
get
some
an
advice.
underhook, like, you know,
Yes.
dude, it's the worst. It's the absolute worst. But also, like, I remember, like, Marcelo Garcia saying, like, he doesn't corner people anymore. Like, he's like, they know how to do jiu-jitsu.
Oh, that's
I
also
don't,
nice,
I don't need to stand there and tell them how to do jiu-jitsu. But he's also working with world champions. It's a bit different, right?
Yeah. He's got all the
Yeah.
strokes there. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, to try and tell, like, Matthias Denise, like, how to, like, stop
Underhook.
someone. I know. It's like,
What are you talking about? Thanks, coach.
Oh man.
Yeah, yes, dude. But yeah.
quickly, details on this weekend, like, who's fighting when, what are the day lineups?
So Saturday will be beginners and intermediate divisions, and then Sunday will be pro division and kids.
Okay. I think that's a
So
cool.
we're going to be using the EFC Performance
Institute.
Institute.
Yeah, man.
You know,
Yeah,
they're
man.
dismantling the cage just
Yeah,
for you
they
guys.
actually.
Man.
So the lady actually texted me this morning. She's like, "Do we need to leave any of the draping or whatever?" She's like, "I told them to clean up this place for you," and I'm like, "Thank you."
Yeah,
They
so-
should- I reckon take those cage panels down.
Yeah, super,
Let them fight on there.
bro.
Yeah,
super
man.
fights in the cage.
In
just
the
do it.
cage.
Man,
There
and
are
you
a
know,
couple of blood
Oh, what's
spots
it like a submission?
Underground.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
But that guy just talks, eh?
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I want to watch it. And
The
he
match,
just talks.
And maybe end of the year, you have those top guys in each of the divisions for their rankings. You have a specialist event.
That will be
So-
cool.
Cage panels down. You have
That's
a
it.
walkout to
Yeah,
maybe
man.
cover it,
Or
allows
maybe
for
just
some
like a
people.
short cage panel.
Yo.
Don't get double legged off there. We can just mat outside.
that's fine.
Crash mats. Yeah. If you die, you
Good.
die, bro.
Exactly. You chose this life.
Fight to live, not fight to win.
Oh, man.
The funny thing about watching like fight to
live,
win.
bro, yeah. There's a new promotion coming out. Check it out. Yeah.
Also, Thursday night we're doing a refs course, so ADCC refs course, and then Kurt will also be teaching a technical seminar.
Okay.
So if you guys want to come by and do that,
And how much is that for people who want to do
So
that?
the technical seminar, Kurt's doing that for free.
Just to educate the masses,
yeah.
the coaches. You guys want to come through? Oh, what
Ask
is-
a question.
You know,
That's a
he'll
thing.
break it down for you. You can demonstrate it, whatever.
So that's the technical session
Seminar.
for the rule set, ADCC rule set.
For the
Yes,
ADCC
Okay.
just
rule
to
sets.
make it more clear. And then the ADCC refs course is, I think, 600. Don't quote me, just to make sure.
But it's an international accreditation.
Yeah.
And once you've paid that 600 once, whenever there's a refs course,
You can go
come there
back.
without paying. Just
Okay.
to refresh.
I think I'm going to do it then.
Dude, it's so
Definitely.
worth it, man. And you know, because you travel, bro. So you go, hey, there's an ADCC, boom, I'm a ref.
Yeah.
Go ref. What a pleasure.
100%.
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
Yeah,
it's
it's-
exciting.
yeah, it's
I liked when we did when you guys did the last Great North Challenge. What was awesome is to have the pros directly after the kids, because the kids were hanging around watching the pros,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then like the intermediates started pitching up and the beginners, and they had to like watch the pros compete before that they could go
100%.
compete. I thought that was actually the
Half
best way.
another bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Like the kids are like the next generation of guys that
man,
have come
the
through,
kids.
right?
Yeah.
So now you want those kids to see
see
what
what's
the
gonna
level
be.
is at this stage, and like let them like start like recognizing these guys as like athletes, right? And then they can aspire to be better jiu-jitsu players, right?
Yeah, man.
And I mean, you know, you've got kids. Kids see something. I mean,
yeah.
like, dude, what got you into martial arts? For me, it was Ninja Turtles. Like,
Oh,
I don't know.
dude,
You know, it's
Ninja
like,
Turtles are
you know, you
hardcore,
see
bro.
stuff, then you like jumping, hitting sticks with sticks, like.
Oh, man.
And you're taking a stick and you're hitting your cousin, he starts crying. Don't stop
Don't-
crying.
don't-
Don't tell him.
You know, come back like, what's that scratch on your face? Nothing.
I just walked into a tree.
Dude, I'm in the kitchen. I'm in the kitchen, like busy, like doing dishes or something. And, like outside my apartment, like you can see onto the playground where all the kids play, and then I can just hear my son like starting to cry. So I come outside. I was like, "What's wrong?" nothing.
Got chopped in the face.
He's like, nothing. I was like, but you're crying, so what happened? And he's got like a scratch on his face, and he's got his hand on his leg. He's like, nothing. Eventually, like, it comes out, they were playing like karate, and like he got kicked in the leg, and then ran into a tree or something like that. And he didn't want to tell anyone. I was like, dude, it's okay.
At our gym,
then you have to be like to everyone, like, you guys shouldn't be kicking each other, but
watch yourselves,
But that's the thing. So kids can see what the pros are doing. They absorb it.
Yeah.
You know? And then they replicate
like at our gym, we have the kids class this like on the Saturday morning, the same time as the adults. But then we do comm class afterwards, and then like Kurt's kid hangs around, and like maybe there's another kid hanging around with him. Then the next thing, the two of them have gloves on, and then we're like, "Hey, guys, no headshots, body shots only." And then they're in the ring like body shots, and one is on the ground laying there, other one's hitting, and I'm just like, "Oh man."
It is, it's absolutely. We like pulled one of the kids into our to the death competition rounds on Saturday. So they were like 5 adults trying to murder each other like with grappling, and you put the kid in. So like your restaurant is to roll with Matt, and
they go harder, hey.
And like by the end of it, he was so pumped with life because he was like with this crew of guys trying to kill each other, and then he got to like roll with them. So
he was our restaurant, but he got no restaurant. So,
So
he's at the end dead. He's looking disheveled. He looks like he's just been through the ringer. And he's like, "No, that was rough." Man.
But that kid, like, you see, so this was like the new generation of kids. Like, he's just gonna, because they're surpassing, like, think about when you were a blue belt, like what you could do.
Yeah, dude.
And then look at a blue belt now, or a white belt now.
I also try and explain it to people, right? Like when I was a blue belt, right, that blue belt wouldn't be a good blue belt now, right? Because things are different. That's 10 years ago that I was a blue belt,
remember
right?
when you were a blue belt, there were no blue belts.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Dude,
yes.
I mean, you can ask Rourke. We used to like drive to like the fucking smallest town ever just to go get grappling matches, right? We did a shit.
I remember like
a
jiu-jitsu
Vol
fights with like the wrestling competitions as well.
At Fila
events. Like I remember seeing Jamie competing many years. Like I went to trials for the South African team, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking at them, and I asked my coach, I'm like, "Yo, Hayden, what's this stuff?" He's like, "Oh, Peyton, it's that stuff where they grab clothes. Don't watch this shit." And then years later, I'm grabbing people's clothes.
And I was a purple belt when Fila was still around, right? And we used to go to those events.
Used to walk into the hall. It smelled like curry and rice because
smelled
they had
like,
no ventilation, but they were
always.
And then
Or like fried onions.
There was 5 wrestling mats, but you had to share one of those wrestling mats with the wrestlers. So they're like, "Okay, guys, you got 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock to do some
That's your
matches."
time.
And then like Oaks are like on there like fucking grappling. Tal and Michiel Shapiro like trying to like coordinate everyone to get onto the mats as quickly as possible. Then like you finish the gi, and then like, okay, no gi time. Then you take your gi off, and then no gi tournament. No, I remember like it was awesome. You used to like get all these matches in, but like that was like yesterday. Like the purple belt I was then wouldn't be a strong purple belt now. You know, like because we're talking like 8 years ago, 10 years ago. Like things change over that period of
Our resources
time.
were so limited.
Yeah.
And I remember the first grappling comp I went to, it was in Pretoria at that World of War.
Warrior Sports.
Yes.
I did a
that was
couple
also
there.
one of my
Yeah,
first ones.
man, and it's like guys are coming there like no gi, then the other guy's like, "Oh, I want to do gi." Then they're like, "Hey, who's got a jacket for this guy here?" The guy's like, like just
The one time Nathan ran we ran a couple of them. It was like the All-Star Grappling League.
Oh,
right?
yes, I heard about
But then,
those,
like the one event had like this massive turnout. So, and my division was like under 75, I think. And then like, so we did the no-gi section, and it was round robin. You had to fight everyone. So I got like 5 matches in. I got 5 matches there, right? I was just walking off the mat from that, and they're like, "Okay, gi section starting on the other mat." Then I had another 5 matches of gi directly after that.
Nice.
Then I decided that Nathan used to love this thing where he did no time limit absolute.
Oh, lovely.
But kind of decided on the day, he's like, actually, no, we're gonna we'll run absolutes, but no time limit.
No time limit.
like 4 hours of rolling.
So I've just had 5 no gi, 5 gi, right? I get on first match of absolute, 12-minute match, right? Second match, I get Johan van Staden, and I don't know if you've ever rolled Martin's brother, Johan. His hands are bigger than Martin's. He's like a unit. Again, like 15 minutes. I was so tired. Eventually, I like literally gave him my back. I was like, "Just choke me now. I'm done. I can't do this anymore."
I'm done.
He choked me. He goes up against Adam Speech in the final. They have a 1 hour grappling match.
I heard about that.
I was like, "Oh,
Adam was actually telling me.
goodness, 1 hour." 1 hour. Eventually, the Oaks were just leaving.
Yeah.
Like they were handing out medals on the side, like while the guys were grappling. It was
Still.
like,
Sense for you, bro.
I entered the kids division, right? And there was only one match. So I was finished. I was like, oh, that sucks. One's like, it's fine. I signed you up for the adults division. You're on in 10 minutes. I got whitewashed. Like it was 5. Also round robin. I had 5 matches, 5 losses. These oaks paneled me and then I vomited all over them. I was like, Warren, why did you do that? He's like, it was a good learning experience.
I took him to this one jiu-jitsu event, and he's like, what, like 14 or 15 at the time, right? And he goes in, and he doesn't warm up, and he goes and roll. You know, like if you don't get that first wind out, right?
Yeah.
And you
That
go,
sweats, yeah.
It was my first comp. I was
and he was,
13.
and he afterwards, he was like sitting on the chair, half crying. He won the fight. He's crying. He's like, I can't do this. I'm like, you better fucking get back in there. You're gonna get this next round. So he gets back, and obviously he gets his breath back, but his jiu-jitsu wasn't good. So me and his brother are
It's
coaching
okay.
him how to do like a kimura, like in the fight. Okay, right hand grabs the wrist, left arm behind the, and he's just watching us and do it, and then wins by kimura. We're like, okay.
Sick, dude.
And then like, yeah, that was the early days. Like,
Val
fuck.
Grappling Cup.
Yes, yeah. I used to cut weight like 10 times a year, like trying to get competitions and.
And like so this is the thing, you know. So we had those kinds of grappling events. Now we host, you know, these cool events, and then people are like, but why is weigh in the day before? You know,
Why not? You obviously haven't cut weight before. Like the
whole
weigh in the day
weekend.
was the greatest thing in history.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. They're like, a whole weekend of jiu-jitsu. But then I don't have a weekend. You're like, bruh, I love jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I wish I could do this the whole
This
weekend every
this
weekend.
is the weekend. Like this
Bruh,
is amazing.
You know what I'm saying?
My mom's like, she comes up. She lives in the Free State, right? On a farm in the Free State. She comes up. She's like, oh my boy, I've got this thing I want to do on Saturday, and then we got a Nita's. But I'm like,
Sorry, mom.
sorry, I'm out this whole. She's like, okay, what? I'm like, I'm out Friday night.
Jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
Thursday, no, jiu-jitsu on Thursday as well. She's like, am I gonna see this? Nope.
It's like, you know, people say jiu-jitsu lifestyle. Like, for
It
real,
really
bro.
is,
Yeah.
though.
You know, it's how it is.
No, 100%.
Yeah, man, I love this. Wouldn't do anything else. You know?
Dude, if we could do this
I
full
wish
time,
I
it'd be
could
amazing,
just,
eh?
Yeah, well, besides the fact that I'm not really working too much at the moment, I wish I could just quit my job, bro, and only, you know, do
That'd be amazing.
man, just martial arts all day, every day.
Weren't you gonna open a gym at one stage?
Dude, I had an academy, bro, back in the day, and then so my whole thing was, when I joined the place I'm training at now in Johannesburg, it was just a pit stop. I was gonna go over to Thailand and do some.
You don't have to
stuff,
be
but then-
coy about it. You train at Eastern
Yeah,
BJJ.
yeah, I'm currently at Eastern BJJ.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Just got
It's
your
a good
purple belt
academy.
as well, eh?
Oh,
Hey.
How's this guy?
Hey, this is a strong jiu-jitsu panel. No, nothing under purple belt in this room.
Yeah.
Besides, obviously,
yeah,
Jared over there
you know.
hasn't come to roll before, but I mean,
Yeah, it's man. East End is a good academy, bro.
Yeah, dude.
The kids' classes have grown a lot since Mandla and James have been taking them, bro. Mandla and James grew that kids' class. But yeah, man, look, there's a lot of good academies out there now. You know, that's the thing. I think we're spoiled for choice. Like there's not really like many
Shitty
like,
academies.
Yeah.
Bushido academies around.
100%.
Right? You know, but yeah, man, jiu-jitsu's the way. Also, like I was saying earlier, I don't know if you've been watching the sports jiu-jitsu, the traditional jiu-jitsu.
I saw like a clip
man.
on Instagram about it where they were just paneling each other and then throwing
Yes.
each other and then grappling them.
Yeah, but it's like MMA in a gi.
It's basically like
Yes.
this is like combat sambo, except they got long pants on this
Exactly,
time.
exactly. It's like combat sambo with long pants, and it's okay. It's not as hardcore as sambo.
Yeah.
You know, there are some techniques that are illegal and stuff, but it's pretty cool, man. I like traditional jiu-jitsu needs to make a comeback also, because I feel like it like started getting very soft. You know, because I still do traditional jiu-jitsu to this day. You know, and I love it, and I've got nothing but love and respect for my trainers. But you know, sometimes you look at it, and some of the techniques you're like, that wouldn't really work. You know, in like
In
a
the
real
real
life
world.
situation.
Yeah.
You know?
I suppose like for traditional jiu-jitsu, it's often just like they don't get an opportunity to test like in real, like at least with like jiu-jitsu, because there's such a close relation to MMA.
Yes.
Like the guys are always like developing techniques that are successful in competition,
Yes.
right? Whereas like if you're not competing a lot or you're not putting it to the test a lot, I suppose
And
like
if
you
you
could
only-
get sucked into this idea like, oh, this works, this
And if you're only
wrist lock
competing-
takedown works, and
Yes.
you're like, no, fuck it, I'll literally just smash it. Like,
And if you're only competing against jiu-jitsu irks, right? Like that's with traditional guys. Like that's I feel like what happened with karate. You know, it was just karate fighting karate. So then yes, this works against another guy who's only doing this and has his hands over here.
Yeah, yeah.
The reality of the situation is like when you fight a boxer.
yeah, then
or
you
a
fucking
Muay Thai
panels
guy,
you. Yeah,
You know, you're like it's not really gonna work.
yeah.
But yeah, look, it needs to make a comeback. It needs to make a comeback. You guys must check
They're
it
just
out.
pulling hard for it.
Yeah,
like-
dude. Yeah, all jiu-jitsu, man. So remember that video that went viral a while back where someone tried to abduct that little kid and that guy choked
Yeah,
him.
in Johannesburg.
So he's actually a traditional jiu-jitsu black belt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he
I know he
graded
trains
from
with
Xian
Huntley.
Sam Tonkin.
Okay.
Yes, but he has his own academy. He has his own traditional jiu-jitsu academy.
Oh, okay.
So he's been doing traditional for years. But as you saw from the way he took the back and stuff, it's primitive, right?
Yeah.
It's not as advanced as.
But
Brazilian
he also
jiu-jitsu.
trains a bit of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu
Yes.
with Huntley at
Yeah.
Art Swab, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, good times.
Yeah, man, it's cool. So they've actually also started at like the Mudabala state, like they have traditional jiu-jitsu now
in
the
Abu
UAE.
Dhabi.
Okay.
And a lot of the BJJ guys are entering
Okay.
competitions. So now what they've done is they've made a rule where you can't just enter one of the events. You have to do at least two. So you have to either do the kumute and the grappling or the kata and the grappling or something. You know, it's like what happened with the judo guys and the wrestlers when wrestlers were just entering the judo comps and just
Double-legging everyone.
Because judokas, you know, they have a very upright stance.
Now you can't touch the legs.
Not at
You
all.
see, now you can't touch the legs, but now instead of changing the rule set,
Yeah.
you know, for traditional jiu-jitsu, they said, okay, anyone can compete. If you're a striker, you can compete as long as you compete in one of the other events, whether
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
kata or whatever. So that's pretty cool.
No, that's very cool.
Yeah, I think it'll make a comeback, hopefully.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for today. It's
Right,
been
thank you so much.
good to have you in. We've just rambled on now for, like 2 hours? Hour and a half.
What a pleasure.
It was good. Okay.
Couldn't think
Awesome.
of anything better to do on a Monday.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey, if we had Matt, so we could. I mean, we have
Hey,
Matt.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
I got my rashi on.
Wearing tights.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank
and,
you.
This weekend,
It's going to be good.
Great North Challenge, ADCC,
That's it.
refs course on
Thursday
Thursday
night.
night, weigh-ins Friday night.
Yeah.
For the pros, is it weigh-ins on Saturday?
Saturday or the Sunday morning.
Cool.
But we'll be posting stuff on the Zero Jitsu,
And the BJJ
SA page and BJJ events. So check any one of those three
And
accounts.
spectators, obviously not really, eh?
So spectators, it's obviously, you know, the thing with grappling is grappling's already very close contact, right?
Yeah.
So we're probably not going to have spectators. We're just waiting. We're still waiting for confirmation from the
City, basically.
because we have to get jock files and stuff organized for this event. So we're just waiting to see exactly what the ruling is going to be before we. But most likely there'll be
Some
probably
level
not.
of spec.
Yeah,
Probably
not.
no spectators.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. You see.
We have to wait and see what they
We
say.
have to see.
Cool.
But if there are spectators, it's going to be very limited numbers, and we'll probably have a little outside section set up, you know, with a little gazebo,
Some TVs.
some TVs showing the matches. You know,
That'd be
so,
great.
So we're going to try accommodate everyone, obviously within the law, because we want to have more of these events.
Yeah, it has to be sustainable.
Yeah,
I
we
mean, you
don't
can't
wanna
get
have
shut down
one.
on
Exactly.
the first event.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for having us.
Peace out.
Yeah.